You know what would be really cool? Getting a college degree from Harvard. And if you're a first-time college student, I can almost guarantee you that it is possible to do so with absolutely no debt. As a side note, even if Harvard isn't your goal, the strategies we'll be using in this video can be applied to hacking a degree at any school. This video is more about just showing you what's possible. Now, why do folks want a degree from a fancy school like Harvard? I guess because it's Harvard. It's the oldest school in the entire United States, and we all assume that if you graduate from there, you're either really smart or really rich. And it's not true, but people assume that if you have a Harvard degree, you also have a job, which would be a really nice thing to have. But you know what the problem is? A Harvard degree costs about $290,000. That's about $54,000 in tuition per year and $18,000 for room and board. Almost no one can afford that. And can you imagine borrowing all of that money and still only having the level of degree that a third of the workforce already has? And that's where I come in. I earned my bachelor's degree for $7,423 at age 18, and I've figured out how you can graduate from the actual Harvard for just $30,000. And I'm going to show you how.
Step 1, you need to know that Harvard University is made up of several sub-schools or colleges, and one of those is the Harvard Extension School, which offers the highly flexible Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree program. This falls under the Harvard Division of Continuing Education, which focuses on supporting students of all ages, which is usually code for wanting to cash in on adults going back to college. The first thing you'll notice here is that their tuition was about $1,840 per course in 2019, and they have plenty of online courses you can take from a distance.
Which means that you can pay cheaper than Boston rent somewhere else, or barter manual labor for living with mom and dad for a little bit longer. At those prices for a full degree, that means that our tuition is already down to $59,000. And we're not going to add room or board onto that because either you can work out a deal with mom and dad or you can live really inexpensively somewhere else.
But that's still too expensive. Thankfully, Harvard is here to help us out with this one. Instead of an application process, they just let hopefuls take 3 introductory courses that apply to the degree program for about $3,000 total. If you get a high enough score on all 3, you're officially admitted to the Bachelor of Liberal Arts program.
And the low price of those classes brings our total cost down to about $56,000.
Next, a Harvard degree is 128 credit hours at 4 hours per class, but they allow 64 transfer credit hours and 16 credit hours of CLEP exams. Even still, they do require that 52 credit hours be done with a Harvard instructor. That means $3,000 for the first 3 classes and then $18,400 total for the next 10.
That's $21,400 and still leaves us 76 credits to gather. We're going to get 32 credits of those from dual enrollment at a community college. Now, there's a lot of different ways to tackle this, so I'm going to estimate the cost generously. You can get free dual enrollment courses in some states, but we're going to estimate about $200 per course and add $1,600 to our running total.
Next, let's max out the CLEP credit we can transfer to Harvard. They accept CLEP exams at 4 credit hours per exam, and with study resources and sitting fees, that'll run us around $600 to earn those.
Now, we still need 28 credit hours. There are a few ways to do this, like straighter line, more dual enrollment courses, regular community college, FEMA courses, Sailor.org, and a couple of other options that are actually really inexpensive. But just to be fair, we'll estimate it at about $200 per credit hour, which is probably pretty expensive for most community colleges, and we'll go ahead and add $5,600 to our total. Finally, keep in mind that Harvard does require you to come to Harvard for at least 4 classes, which could mean one really expensive renting situation for a semester, but thankfully they are also okay with you just taking 4 classes that require a weekend-long intensive each. To cover a 1-bedroom Airbnb and eating in Boston for 4 weekends, we're going to go ahead and add $800.
So to review, that's $21,400 for 52 credits of Harvard classes online. $1,600 for 32 credits of dual enrollment, $600 for 16 credits of CLEP exams, $5,600 as a generous estimate for 28 more credit hours earned in a variety of possible ways, and $800 for travel expenses for intensives.
Now that all adds up neatly to $30,000, which I think we can agree is pretty awesome, very reasonable, and quite incredible for a degree from Harvard. What's more is that it's completely doable. And you know what I didn't mention? External scholarships. If you're already the kind of dedicated, hardworking person who's trying to get a Harvard degree, I wouldn't be surprised if you could bring that total down to somewhere around $20,000 if you go out, beat the bushes, talk to some local businesses, and send some essays to some of those large scholarships. Can you imagine spending that little on a Harvard degree? And you know what's funny about that too is that most people don't know about these kinds of rules that colleges make. They don't know how to take advantage of those situations and use those policies to help them to be able to actually afford their degrees. They just assume, well, everybody goes to college for 4 years and does it this one way, I guess I have to. And then they end up tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. Now, I'm not a Harvard admissions counselor. I'm just a private consultant who's done his best to survey some of the open resources and put together a potential plan. When I consult clients on something like this though, I do often contact the schools and make sure all the details are ironed out and help people pick exactly which courses they're going to take. The cost I mentioned may be a little high or a little low based on what Harvard decides they want to accept as far as transfer credit. Guys, that's just an example of what college hacking can do. If you want to see my story with college hacking, you can check out this video right here. And every college out there can be hacked a little or a lot, and I'd love to help you with that. If you're interested in me helping you save tens of thousands of dollars on your college degree like I did for this Harvard degree, email me at clifford.stummy@gmail.com. Or you can ask questions below and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching.